Harinam Sankirtan ki, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for coming and giving your association to us.
Hare Krishna.
We are all fortunate to have you with us. A small introduction about him. Currently, he is serving as a full-time spiritual counselor. He has done his MTech in microelectronics in Rich Pilani. Worked as a senior VLSI design engineer. Worked as a faculty in engineering college. Served as an e-counselor at international website. He's been one of the speakers at Hare Krishna TV. You all would have seen him in TV. And he has done his Bhakti Shastri degree at Mayapur Institute of Higher Education. He is known for his scientific and logical discourse on Vedic scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and mantra meditation seminars. His everyday sloka a day videos are received well on the YouTube. He delivers sessions to varied audience like teenagers, students, families, corporators, guiding and helping many youths and families across India. Let us all welcome him by loudly chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for your kind introduction. Very happy to be here in ISKCON Puram. So Veni Mother Prabhu invited and I cannot reject. I have to come. So very happy. I had come once. It was night time when we came to drop him. Everything was closed. No one was there. But still the place was looking very vibrant. But now it's even more vibrant with so many devotees here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for engaging me today in serving Srimad Bhagavatam class. So let's begin. We'll chant Mangalacharan and we'll begin the class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayamudiraye Nashtapraesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So I have been asked to speak on Canto 1, Chapter 16, titled How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. Text 13 to 15. We'll chant the displayed somewhere. Mobile. Okay. So we all can open Canto 1, Chapter 16, text 13 to 15. Your mic has some siddhi, it's moving automatically. I think this is okay. This is low, I guess. This has to be tight. So we'll chant the first shloka, shloka 13. Tatra tatropashrinvanaha Tatra tatropashrinvanaha Svapurvesham mahatmanam Pragiyamanam cha yashaha Krishna Mahatmyam Suchakam Mahatmya Suchakam Tatra tatropashrinvanaha Svapurvesham mahatmanam Pragiyamanam cha yashaha Krishna Mahatmya Suchakam Tatra Tatropashrinvanah Svapurvesha Mahatmana Pragiyamanam cha yashaha Krishna Mahatmya Suchakam. Some devotees can chant. Prabhuji's. Tatra Tatropashrinvanah Tatra Tatropashrinvanah Tatropashrinvanah Mataji's. Word-to-word meaning. Tatra Tatra, everywhere the king visited. Upashranvanaha, continuously he heard. Swapurvesham, about his own forefathers. Mahatmana, who were all great devotees of the Lord. Pragiyamanam, onto those who were thus addressing. Cha, also. Yashaha, glories. Krishna, Lord Krishna. Mahatmya, glorious acts. Suchakam, indicating. Atmanam, his personal self. Cha, also. Paritratam, delivered. Ashwatthamaha, of Ashwatthama. Astra, weapon. Tejasaha, powerful rays. Sneham, affection. Cha, also. Vrishniparthanam, between descendants of Vrishni and those of Pratha. Tesham, of all of them. Bhaktim, devotion. Cha, also. Keshave, onto Lord Krishna. Tebhyah, onto them. Parama, extremely. Santushtaha, pleased. Preeti, attraction. Ujrim dhanani, valuable riches. Vasamsi, clothing. Dadao, gave in charity. Hara, necklace. Mahamanaha, one who has a broader outlook. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Wherever the king visited, he continuously heard the glories of his great forefathers, who were all devotees of the Lord, and also of the glorious acts of Lord Krishna. He also heard how he himself had been protected by the Lord from the powerful heat of the weapon of Ashwatthama. People also mentioned the great affection between the descendants of Vrishni and Pritha due to the latter's great devotion to Lord Keshava. The king, being very pleased with the singers of such glories, opened his eyes in great satisfaction. Out of magnanimity, he was pleased to award them very valuable necklaces and clothing. Purport. Kings and great personalities of the state are presented with welcome addresses. This is a system from time immemorial, and Maharaj Parikshit, since he was one of the well-known emperors of the world, was also presented with addresses of welcome in all parts of the world as he visited those places. The subject matter of those welcome addresses was Krishna. Krishna means Krishna and his eternal devotees, as the king means the king and his confidential associates. King and his unalloyed devotees cannot be separated, and therefore glorifying the devotee means glorifying the Lord and vice versa. Maharaj Parikshit would not have been glad to hear about the glories of his forefathers like Maharaj Yudhishthir and Arjuna, had they not been connected with the acts of Lord Krishna. The Lord descends specifically to deliver his devotees, Paritranaya Sadhanam. The devotees are glorified by the presence of the Lord because they cannot live for a moment without the presence of the Lord and his different energies. The Lord is present for the devotees by his acts and glories, and therefore Maharaj Parikshit felt the presence of the Lord when he was glorified by his acts, especially when he was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother. The devotees of the Lord are never in danger, but in the material world, which is full of dangers at every step, the devotees are apparently placed into dangerous positions, and when they are saved by the Lord is glorified. Lord Krishna would not have been glorified as the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita had his devotees like Pandavas not been entangled in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. All such acts of the Lord were mentioned in the addresses of welcome, and Maharaj Parikshit, in full satisfaction, rewarded those who presented such addresses. The difference between the presentation of welcome addresses today and in those days is that formerly the welcome addresses were presented to a person like Maharaj Parikshit. The welcome addresses were full of facts and figures, and those who presented such addresses were sufficiently rewarded. Whereas in the present days, the welcome addresses are presented not always with factual statements, but to please the post holder. And often they are all full of flattering lies, and rarely are those who present such welcome addresses rewarded by poor receiver. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganam Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So we call this a Sunday feast, this class. I was very inspired to know that there was a class before this, 7:45 to 8:45, and again you're sitting on another class. You please bless me, I also get taste for hearing like this, back to back. Very nice. So wherever I go, for the first time to Sunday feast, I always ask this question: why do we have Sunday feast classes? Why? Why do you come together for a Bhagavatam class like this? Association of devotees, yes. And?
5 days we are materially puffed up, at least 1 day will come purify ourselves.
Okay. So one day the Bhagavatam speaker will purify us, at least one day will come. Okay. Yes. Yes, correct. What else? Matajis, why do you come to Bhagavatam class? Hearing Katha, yes. Association of devotees. Prasad. Yes. It's so nice, I understand that you people cook yourself. Very nice. Yeah. What is that? ABCD, yes, ABCD of devotional service. Association, books, chanting and diet and dance. It's very nice. I heard a very nice book distribution pastime. It was a nice realization for myself also, that why actually we should come together. So in a foreign country, book distribution, one devotee was doing book distribution. So in 1 hour or so, he distributed some 100 books. And there was one person who was standing and observing all this for 1 hour. And then finally, when this devotee was winding up his stall, so this person came. And he said, that amazing. I'm observing you from last 1 hour. You're selling that product which no one wants here. And you're convincing them so wonderfully. And they're taking it. So wonderful. By the way, I am Vice President Sales and Marketing of this company. He named the company. He said, I'm very impressed by your sales and marketing skills. This is my card, I have an offer. I want a senior marketing manager in my company. Now this devotee heard this and the first question he asked is, do you have a Bhagavad Gita? We are all one-pointed, no? After all, we are in the parampara of Prabhupada. The ones who have read Prabhupada Lilamrit, you will know that when Prabhupada got down from Jalaluta's ship, the first thing that he did was he sold a book to Captain Pandya. So that person said no, and then this devotee convinced him to take Bhagavad Gita. Now that person was fearful, if I don't take, then maybe he'll reject my offer. So he took. And then he asked, what about my offer? He said, see, I have your card, so I'll call you. So we'll talk. And the VP left. And after that, after 1 week, this devotee calls the VP, Vice President. And he said, you remember we met there, you gave me your card and you gave me the offer. I just wanted to check, do you have a Bhagavatam set? Now this person who was hearing, he was thinking, my God, but if I reject, then maybe this person will reject my offer. I want him badly. This person is amazing in marketing skills. He took that also. And I was hearing that this devotee in 1 month he sold all the Prabhupada books to that person which was published till then. All the books. And finally, in the last call, this VP, your Vice President, he said, hey, what about my offer? Then he said, then this devotee in grave voice, he said, what do you think, we're doing business here? We are doing this just to express gratitude to our founder Acharya A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. just to please him, we are doing this activity. That's it. And that person was clean bold after hearing this. So I was just thinking, after hearing this pastime, that whatever activities we do, even coming together like this for a Bhagavatam class, is an expression of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, where we're telling Srila Prabhupada, thank you very much. Whatever you have done for us. And we promise to use the platform that you have given to come together and do devotional service. Yeah. So when we come together, it's an expression of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Like he did. Like he said that I distribute books to express gratitude to Srila Prabhupada or Pandara Acharya. So in this context of Bhagavatam that we just read, it is spoken about Parikshit Maharaj going to different places to conquer various places, to subdue various kings. Already the kings accepted Parikshit Maharaj or his grandfather Yudhishthir as the great king. Now when Parikshit Maharaj was made the king, he just went around to do the formality to make sure that everyone is under him. But then when he was going around, many things happened. But in this context, we see that as soon as he entered any place, they started glorifying him. So glorification in the association of devotees is nothing but glorification of Krishna. So they started glorifying Krishna. They started narrating, the various pastimes which happened with the Pandavas. They started narrating various pastimes which happened with Parikshit. And then when all this was going on, all the glorification was going on, so there the description says that devotees are interested to hear only glorification of Krishna. And there is no difference between the glorification of Krishna and the devotees. So I was thinking the glories of hearing. So important this Shravanam is. That's why we see that Prahlad Maharaj, the first word that uses Navavida Bhakti is Shravanam. And that acts as the primary anga of devotional service. So it is described that anyone who wants to advance very fast in Krishna consciousness, they have to hear very nicely. Yes. Hear me, don't hear them. Yes. So very nicely it is described in 1st canto, 2nd chapter, shloka 17. Srinvatam svakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtanat ridantasto hi avadrani vidunoti surut satam. So here it is described that Srinvatam svakatha Krishna. So, and what are the glories of Krishna Katha? Punya Shravana Kirtanat. So anyone who hears Krishna Katha, which is all auspicious, which brings in all auspicious to someone's life, what happens? Hridyantastohi abhadrani vidunoti surut satam. So our Suhrit is Krishna and is there in our heart. And what he does? He cleanses our heart from inside. Sometimes I really wonder that is Krishna Supreme Personality of Godhead or are we Supreme Personality of Godhead? Can you imagine? Supreme Personality of Godhead is acting like our secretary. Whatever we desire, he makes a note. Okay. And then he reminds us, Matta Smritir Jnana. He gives us Smriti, he gives us Jnana of how to do better sense gratification. Yesterday evening I was addressing some youth crowd and I was asking them, tell me, who does sense gratification? Who all do sense gratification in this world? They said, everyone does. But sense gratification is the natural tendency of demons only, according to Bhagavatam. Sometimes I really wonder, I'm wearing all this dhoti kurta and all that, but am I really a devotee or a demon? With sense gratification is our second nature, no? Yes? Therefore, it's very important to note that Lord Krishna is doing so much for us every single day. Every single day. Therefore, I always tell this point that anyone who understands what Krishna does for us, that person can do nothing but cry and rise in love with Krishna and dedicate his full life for Krishna's service. They cannot do anything else apart from this. Because how else can we repay our debt to Krishna? Tell me. What is the other way? This person is serving us every day, every moment he is serving us. How else can we serve him? And he goes on to clean our heart. My God, this is like really big. See, when Hanuman opened his chest, the lordships were found in the chest. I always tell him, I open my chest, only kachara will come out. Only garbage will come out which can fill the entire universe. And can you imagine that garbage, that dirt Krishna is cleaning when we hear Krishna Katha. Then another very beautiful shloka which we chant always before starting Bhagavatam class. Nashtha prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So here it is said, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. All the abhadra, all the unwanted things from the heart will be removed. But the condition is nityam bhagavata sevaya. Nityam. What does nityam mean? Always. But Prabhupada writes, just for all of us, Prabhupada writes, regular attendance in Bhagavatam class is nityam. I was so happy when I read that. Nityam means always, but then Prabhupada is helping us to understand that nityam means at least you attend Bhagavatam class every day. That's nityam. So anyone who does that, what happens? Heart gets cleansed. And bhakti bhavati naishtiki. We come to the platform of nishtha in devotional service. I was giving a class to a community of CEOs and CFOs. So one lady, it's very easy to give class to devotees. All are submissive, humble, surrendered souls. But these people, they're all very proud of their opulence that they have. And the house which I was sitting in was 6,000 square feet. Hall itself was bigger than all our centers. Then that lady asked me, see, you are a monk, you have given up everything, you have fully surrendered. How? I cannot do all this. I cannot do all this. And you keep telling that we have to surrender to Krishna. How is it possible? Then I gave the definition of surrender. The 6 limbs of surrender. Anukulisya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishiti de vishvaso, gopatritve varnam tatha, atma nikshepa, karpanya, shadvidha, sharanagati. Then I explained, accepting things which are favorable, rejecting things which are not favorable for bhakti, having faith that Krishna is my protector, Krishna is my only maintainer, and accepting Krishna's supremacy and having the same desire what Krishna has and remaining humble. So after hearing this lady says, oh, this much only? Oh, then I can do it. So there was only one devotee who was sitting, who was assisting me in the class. So I was looking at the devotee and that devotee looking at me and we were wondering, so easy? Really? Surrender is so easy? So for people who initially come to bhakti, they directly start with prema. And slowly as they keep hearing Bhagavatam class, slowly they come to Shraddha. And then again they rise, from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya and get stuck at Anartha Nivritti. So many times we say our heart is filled with anarthas, we have fallen. I was telling this in the same community I was telling. That another lady said, why you keep telling we are fallen, we are fallen? I don't think I am so fallen. I said, don't worry, keep hearing my classes, you'll realize. So therefore, when we hear Shravanam, what happens? We come to Nishtha. We cross Anartha Nivritti, we come to Nishtha. But even in Nishtha stage, anarthas are not fully removed. Therefore it says, Nashta prayeshu. Almost anarthas are removed. Next thing that happens when we do Shravanam. Shanvatam Shraddhayam Nityam Grannatascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Ridhi. So anyone who does hearing Shravanam very nicely, very attentively, with a mood to invite Krishna in one's heart. So what happens? Kalena nati dirgena. It will not take much time. Bhagavan Vishate Ridhi. Lord Krishna will enter the devotee's heart for sure. Basically, the devotee will become God realized. That's what it means. Right? Therefore, when we hear, these are the different advantages that we have. Therefore, Prabhupada, he always said in various purports, if you read, anyone who reads Bhagavatam regularly, you will find these lines. We have opened ISKCON centers to give a platform for common public to hear about Krishna. That's the only reason why we have ISKCON centers. And obviously other things are side things. Like your main dish and side dish. So main dish in ISKCON is hearing Shravanam. Very, very important. And sometimes what happens is, people might not understand what is spoken. This year when we had been to Vrindavan Yatra, or Whitefield congregation, so we had invited His Grace Kirti Prabhu, Secretary of Prabhupada. So it seems one time, I think they were in West Bengal also, and Prabhupada was giving a Bengali class. So Kirti Prabhu was sitting, and then throughout class he was sleeping. And Prabhupada observed that. And then Prabhupada scolded him after the class. Why you are sleeping? And Shrutakirti Prabhu said, Prabhupada, I cannot understand what you are speaking. You are speaking in some other language which I cannot understand. And Prabhupada, so, here, the sound vibrations will purify you. Another disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Grace Shyama Sundar Prabhu, who has written the book Chasing the Rhinos. He was telling in one class that in the initial days, when just ISKCON just kick started at that time, in that gift shop. So there, Shyam Sundar Prabhu is calling his friend. Hey, come fast, Swamiji is speaking something very nice. I'm not able to understand, but it's very nice. Come. So you see what happened, in West. Prabhupada's thick Bengali accent, people are not able to understand. They're not able to understand much. But the sound vibrations coming from the lotus mouth of Srila Prabhupada purified people. Purified people. Yes. And Prabhupada said that the Bhagavatam, the purports of my books are my spiritual ecstasies, which Krishna himself has dictated. It so happened, in one of the interviews, a reporter asked, Swamiji, how do you write so many books? And Prabhupada said, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there besides. Prabhupada said, Krishna dictates and I write. And the reporter was blank. What does that mean? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he started giving purport to Srila Prabhupada's purport. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Swamiji means to say that Krishna inspires him and he writes. And Prabhupada looked at him angrily and he said, Krishna dictates and I write. Can you imagine our Prabhupada, not an ordinary person, directly in touch with Krishna. Therefore, whenever we read Prabhupada books, we have to understand Prabhupada is directly speaking to us. And same transformation can happen in us also, what happened with hippies. They became such great devotees. We also have all opportunity to become great devotees. Can you imagine they started from scratch? They didn't know who is Krishna. At least by Lord's mercy, we knew who is Krishna. Maybe conceptions are different, but still we knew who is Krishna, what is Bhagavad Gita. Right? Therefore, hearing is very, very important. This is the point that I am trying to make. Now, another question that comes is, okay, so I have to hear Krishna's glorification only, or I can hear devotee's glorification also. So this question is clarified in this particular purport. Whom should I glorify? Actually, when it comes to Krishna and his devotees, we cannot separate them. Krishna is ready to do anything for his devotees, and devotees are ready to do anything for Krishna. A very nice example, since Pandavas, the discussion about Pandavas, I was thinking some examples from Pandavas. I'm sure you might have heard this pastime, where Yudhishthira Maharaj sent Arjuna, just before the war was about to begin, you go and get Narayani Sena. You know how many Akshaunis Narayani Sena had? Anyone? 11 Akshaunis. And one Akshauni means a lot. 65,000 horses, 1 lakh foot soldiers, 65,000 elephants, and some huge number of chariots and all that. So now you can just imagine, it's a big fight, and Yudhishthira Maharaj sent you go and get Narayani Sena, and the entire fight depends on Narayani Sena, to be frank. And then Krishna goes there, and along with him, Duryodhana also, before him, he reaches there. But Duryodhana is there at the head of Krishna, Krishna is resting, and Arjuna enters. Krishna opens his eyes, and when Krishna opens his eyes, he sees whom first? He says Arjuna. And then he's like, oh Arjuna, so nice, my friend, oh, I'm so happy to meet you. And Duryodhana from behind, I have also come. And Krishna greets him also, welcome, welcome, and all that. And then he understood both have come to ask for his Sena. Now since two people were there, he gave two options. One option he gave was that either you can take my Narayani Sena or you can take me, with 2 asterisk conditions applied. What was terms and conditions? I will not lift any weapon on the battlefield. Now Krishna said, see, Arjuna is younger to you, Duryodhana, so we should give first option to Arjuna. See, Krishna is trying his best to give his Narayani Sena to Arjuna. Therefore he gave this option to Arjuna. And then as soon as it was asked, Arjuna, what do you want? Narayani Sena, me? And he said, Krishna, you. And now Krishna is thinking, my God, all the tricks that I play, my devotee just splash water on it. And Duryodhana was like, oh, I also wanted to choose you, but what to do? No, I'll take Narayani, no problem. You send your Narayani, I'll go. Then when Duryodhana left, at that time, Krishna asked Arjuna, and he scolded him, Yudhishthir sent you to get my Narayani Sena. Why did you choose me? I'm not going to fight. And at that time, Arjuna, full faith and devotion and love, he said, oh Krishna, if you're there on my side, what to talk about these Kauravas, filthy people? I can defeat even all Devi Devtas of the heavenly planet. Forget about these Kauravas. On that day, Krishna gave a vow. Krishna took a vow. He promised Arjuna that I will make sure that you will never lose anything. You will be victorious always. And guess what happened after that? During the war, I was hearing and I was astonished to hear this. It seems almost, I think, 10 days the war was going on. And not even one day Arjuna got a drop of sweat. Forget about blood from the body. Krishna took the arrows on himself, but not even a drop of sweat came on Arjuna's forehead. But on 10th day, I don't have much knowledge of Mahabharata, I just heard. On 10th day, Bhishma Dev, when he had taken a vow that I'll kill all the Pandavas. So on that day, he was shooting arrows after arrows after arrows. And Bhishma Dev, when he decided that he will kill Arjuna, so he was full, ferocious fighter. He was throwing arrows one after another. And Arjuna was filled around with ocean of arrows. And what happened is he was also shooting. But then when he was shooting, what was happening is he got tired at one point of time and some sweat drops came on his forehead. And Krishna turned back and he saw the sweat. Immediately he stopped, he jumped from the chariot. That's how he took the wheel and ran towards Bhishma Dev to kill him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this? This is called reciprocation of our Lord. Now Arjuna is like this. Let's talk about his mother, Kunti. Now her prayers are next level. Vipadaha santu taha shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavataha darshanam yat syat apunar bhava darshanam. She is saying, this is a deadly prayer, don't offer this prayer. She is saying that, oh Lord, give me more and more problems. One of my friend, when I was in Mumbai, that friend used to offer Kunti Maharani prayers every day. And almost a good number of months, lot of problems started coming in life. And then that devotee realized, I'm offering a wrong prayer, looks like. The devotee stopped offering prayers. But look at Kunti Maharani's mood. She's like, you give more and more problems. And why she's asking for problems? Bhavataha darshanam. I'll get your darshan, O Krishna. And anyone who gets your darshan, apunar bhava darshanam, such a person will not take birth again. So with the greed to take darshan of Krishna, she is ready to go through any amount of suffering. There are 3 levels of prayers. So I'll tell you 3 levels. You have to tell me, are you ready to offer those prayers? The first level is, you go in front of the Lordships and you say that, oh Lord, I want to attain you. How many of you can offer this prayer? Oh Lord, I want to attain you. Hey, others don't want to attain Krishna. You come for prasad only? Okay, almost everyone, yes. Now a bit higher level. Oh Krishna, I just want to attain you. I don't want anything else. How many of you can offer this prayer? Jai. Next level. Oh Krishna, I just want to attain you. I don't want anything else. And whatever I have, you take away from me. I'll not ask now. I will offer this prayer. But Kunti Maharani has the daring to offer this prayer where she says, Krishna, take away whatever you want. Give how many ever problems you want. I just want you, O Krishna. I just want you. And to such an extent, see, for a female, naturally they're attached to 2 families. They're attached to the father's family, they're attached to husband's family, naturally. In Vedic times, currently I don't know. Mata should tell. So, 2 families. Now, Kunti Maharani, there is one prayer which is against this particular thing. Now what happened is, Kunti Maharani is praying to Krishna when he is about to leave for Dwarka. So she is praying that, oh Lord, please don't leave, please stay here. But now she is thinking, okay, I am praying that you stay here. So by that I am safeguarding my kids. But then what about my brother and my mother's place, father's place? If Krishna is here, then someone will attack there and they will be in danger. And she is thinking, so should Krishna be here or should Krishna go there? And then finally, she realized something and she offers a prayer and she says, Atha Vishvesha Vishwatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dridam Pandushu Vrishnishu. So finally she offers a prayer and says, O Vishwatman, O Lord of the universe, O form of the universe, O soul of the universe, O Lord, cut all my bondage to both Vrishni and Pandu. Just finish off both the links. I don't want to be connected with my husband's side also and the father's side also. Now Krishna, say if Krishna is asking a question, come on, I belong to your father's side. So do you mean to say that you want to cut relationship with me also? And then she says, Tvai mainanya vishaya matir madhupate sakrat Ratim udvatat adha gange vaugham udanvati. No, don't think like that, Baba. Kunti Maharani is saying, Tvai mainanya vishaya. Cut all the bondage. But then why am I asking you to cut the bondage? So that I can just focus on you. The way Ganga, with full focus, she enters into the ocean without any deviation. Now tell me, who will offer such prayers? You cut my bondage, father side also and mother side, husband side also. I just want you, O Krishna. So when these personalities are offering these, when they are showing such level of surrender, such level of love towards the Lord, what do you think? What do you think Lord will do? Our Krishna has got one very important quality. He does not like to take any debt. If he takes debt, he fulfills the debt with n number of times of interest. So when these personalities are so surrendered to Krishna, Krishna surrenders to these personalities to a great level. What are the different examples where Krishna surrendered to Pandavas? What are the different pastimes where Krishna shows that he surrendered to the Pandavas? Draupadi's Vastraharan? Yes. He himself came down as Govinda Sari Bhandar to protect. Yes. What else? He became chariot driver. My God, that's a very big thing. He became chariot driver of Arjuna. And he breaks his own promise. To protect his own devotees, he makes his own promise. Yes. What else? Prabhuji, you should speak. Only Mataji are speaking. Akshay Patra pastime. Yes. Where as soon as Draupadi called, Krishna is there. It's almost like the master is ringing the bell and the servant is there. That's how he appeared. Another very, very important thing in case of Parikshit Maharaj. What happened in case of Parikshit Maharaj? When Ashwatthama released Brahmastra and Uttara is running towards Krishna, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate, she is running towards Krishna. This is my speculation. Why did she not run towards Yudhishthir or Arjun, Bhim, all of them who were there? All her father-in-laws, they were all standing there. All her expert fighters. But she didn't run, not to those people, she ran only to Krishna. Because she learned a lesson from her mother-in-law. So during the Vastraharan, none of these five came out to help. So she said, why go to these five? Let me directly call Krishna. And she went directly to Krishna. And at that time it is described, Krishna, he was there outside. He was nullifying the Brahmastra, but the Brahmastra that came to kill Parikshit. So Krishna, he entered the womb of Uttara. He was there on the chariot, he also entered the womb of Uttara. And the size of Krishna in the womb was size of thumb. And Parikshit Maharaj is also of the same size. Now it is described that Krishna used the chakra, the Sudarshan chakra, to protect Parikshit, from the rays that were coming from the Brahmastra. But then it is described when Krishna entered the womb of Uttara. So at that time, Krishna carried Gada also with him. He carried Chakra also, he carried Gada also. Now Acharya is asking a question. Why two weapons? He could have just carried one. Sudarshan Chakra was enough. Why two weapons? So Acharya's comment there, understanding the mood of Krishna, that Krishna has so much of love for Parikshit. Because he has so much of love for Pandavas, because Pandavas surrendered to him. So Krishna had so much of love that he was fearful. What if my chakra fails? Can you imagine this? Krishna is thinking, what if my chakra fails and I'll use Gada? Then I'll use my club to save Parikshit. Therefore, when Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 1866, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja, there is a hidden line also. You surrender to me, I will also surrender to you. And that's what we see in this. We see clearly, in this pastime, and therefore we understand that Lord and his devotees cannot be separated. They are intimately, tightly connected. In Amrish Maharaj's pastime, when Durvasa Muni goes to Narayan, Lord Narayan, and he is begging that please protect me. At that time, the verses that the Lord chants at that time, those are googlies, little googlies, bouncers for Durvasa Muni. He is saying a very nice shloka. Sadhavo hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam tvaham mat anyat te na jananti naham tebhyo nagapi. He is saying, O Durvasa, how can I save you? Just before the shloka, what I just chanted. So Lord said that Bhaktya Mam, no, not that. What is that shloka where he says, I am lower than my devotees? I am not able to remember that. So he says that I am lower than my devotees, and these sadhus, they conquer my heart. And see, from the heart I have to think, right? From the heart I have to desire to stop the Sudarshan, but my heart is conquered by them. How can I stop Sudarshan? And then after that he says this point that, O Durvasa, you understand our relationship. My devotees are there in my heart, and I am there in the heart of my devotees. My devotees don't know anything apart from me, and I don't know anything apart from my devotees. This is the tight connection of our Lord and his devotees, his pure devotees. Therefore, it is described that if we glorify devotees, it's equivalent to glorifying the Lord. Because as soon as we glorify devotees, we will glorify the Lord also in connection with the devotees. And as soon as we glorify the Lord, we glorify the devotees also. Yashoda Nandan. Now we are addressing Krishna, but then we are also including Mother Yashoda's name there. So in this way, we understand that the Lord and his devotees, they are glorified together. Either of them glorified, it doesn't matter, the result is the same. So once a Prabhupada disciple, he had a question. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, if anyone remembers Krishna at the time of death, they will go back to Krishna. 8.5 Bhagavad Gita, Antakale Chamaya. So this disciple intelligently went to Prabhupada and he asked, Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita says this, if I remember Krishna at the time of death, then I'll come back to Godhead. But Prabhupada, what if I remember you at the time of death? And Prabhupada, looking down, he looked up and he said, same result. And he looked down. Same result. Yes, same result. Therefore, glorifying devotees and glorifying the Lord is one and the same. And when we glorify both, what happens is our heart gets purified. Our heart gets purified. Therefore, it's a very, very important thing to note that somehow or the other, we should come to this platform of hearing about the Lord and glorifying the Lord. Very, very important. And those devotees who have come to this platform would not like to hear anything apart from glorification of Krishna and his devotees. If anything that is spoken apart from this, they'll feel like molten iron put into the ears. I don't want to hear Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. I don't want to hear this. That is the level that is there. Recently, Veni Madhavan and myself are doing Bhakti Vaibhav course in our center. So we are supposed to write an assignment. I have submitted. So when I was writing that assignment, I came across this wonderful verse. So Shaunaka Rishi is inquiring from this Sutta Goswami. So the question was, when the Kali personified was beating the cow, so at that time Parikshit, he left the Kali personified and gave some places to stay. So here they are asking a question, why did Parikshit Maharaj simply punish him? Since he was the lowest of the Shudras, having dressed as a king and having struck a cow on the leg. So why did Parikshit Maharaj leave him? He should have punished him very badly. And after that they are saying, please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. So you speak only if they are connected to Krishna, otherwise you don't speak, we are not interested to hear. This is exactly the mood of devotees, Therefore, one thing we have to realize is, somehow because of many lifetimes of samskaras, dirty samskaras, our heart has become very impure. I don't know about yours, at least mine I understand and realize it's very dirty. And there is no way to cleanse this heart, There is no material way. You cannot go, you do a bypass surgery and ask the doctor, remove my anarthas. No, you can just remove some clots on the gross platform. But these subtle anarthas which are there, very difficult. And they're so troublesome to the devotees. See, as devotees, everyone is good only, there's no problem. But when the anarthas come, there's so many nonsense that happens in the devotee association. So much. Yes. Therefore, it's very important that we hear the glorification of Krishna, and only that will purify us. There is no other way. Krishna's name, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's form, Krishna's Leela. When we hear about that, we'll get purified. There is no other way. But what to do? We don't like to hear about the Lord. No. Means not that much. Not that much. As much as we like to hear about ourselves. I was telling this in one class, that we are naturally envious of Krishna. So one devotee got really offended. The devotee is like, Prabhuji, come on, don't say all this. I am not envious of Krishna. Then I just gave one example. Let's say gulab jamun is made, freshly prepared, and then the sugar syrup, soft, brown, and just you remove that, and dripping sugar, and he's seeing all that. Now tell me, when I'm describing, only mouths are watering. Yes? Now when you see that, automatically mouth will water or not? It means what? I want to enjoy that. But everything in this world is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. So what is enviousness? He shouldn't get it. I want it. So I want to enjoy before Krishna. This is enviousness. What else it is? Enviousness. Naturally, envious. And you look at this point, at least this is very much valid for me. So whenever someone glorifies us, we'll not fall asleep at that time. Have you seen that? Have you noticed? We'll not sleep at that time. Someone is glorifying Prabhu, you're such a nice devotee, the Kirtans were really amazing, that class, that point was very nice, and then this thing, that you organized was very nice, and this and that, and then when the person stops, you're like, hey, ye bhai, aage kaho aar? Tell something more. But then when we hear about Krishna, doesn't matter how sincere devotees we are, still at one point of time we get switched off, isn't it? Naturally. So whenever devotees, they rest for some time in the Bhagavatam class, I say, don't worry, it's okay. Naturally we get switched off. What to do? Naturally we get switched off. Because there is an ingrained enviousness towards the Lord. We don't want to hear about the Lord too much, a little bit okay. In limit. We should hear about the Lord in limit. Therefore we understand very clearly that somehow we have got this disease, but this disease will go away when we keep hearing more and more about the Lord. This is the only medicine, there is no other medicine. 10th canto, when it began, Parikshit Maharaj had only 3 days left. So what Shukadeva Goswami did was, when he was about to finish the 9th canto, towards the end, the last 3-4 shlokas, he summarized the entire Krishna Leela. Entire Krishna Leela he summarized that Krishna he appeared, he did various pastimes in Vrindavan, he went to Mathura, he went to Dwarka, he disappeared. Now Parikshit Maharaj was like, I was waiting for 10th canto and this person summarized everything. And the start of 10th canto, first chapter, Parikshit is asking a lot of questions. can you explain that how Sankarshan is the son of Devaki and simultaneously the son of Rohini? Can you explain that why Krishna was transferred from Mathura to Vrindavan? Can you explain what did Krishna do in Vrindavan? Can you please explain what did Krishna do in Mathura? Please explain how Krishna married all 16,108 wives. Please explain that how Krishna did his various leelas in Dwarka. अभी इसमें बचा क्या और सब कुछ तो कवर हो गया. And then he adds a line. Please, oh Gurudev, please explain to me in detail. Vistarat. This is the word that is used. Now just imagine a person has 3 days only. He has no anxiety. He has so much of taste to hear. And Shukadeva Goswami is like, my dear disciple, you have been fasting for last few days. You have not slept. You have not drunk anything. And you're saying Vistarat? And at that time, Parikshit Maharaj, he is saying, Gurudev, who said I am not drinking? I am drinking the nectar of Krishna Katha from your mouth. Please continue. Please continue. This is eagerness to hear. And Prabhupada writes a very painful line in the purport to 1st canto, 2nd chapter, shloka 16. Shushishosha Dadhanasya. There he writes, the first qualification to go back home back to Godhead is eagerness to hear about Krishna. So when I read that for the first time, I was thinking, my God, this is the first qualification. So anyone who is eager to hear about Krishna, that person is qualified. The first qualification is there in him to go back home back to Godhead. Therefore, it's a very important thing that we should be very greedy in our life. Greedy in terms of getting purified and greedy in terms of going back home back to Godhead and attaining Krishna. Actually, there is only one goal, and that is attaining Krishna's eternal service. So anything that we do apart from that is what? Anything apart from attaining Krishna, the activities attaining Krishna. So what are those activities? Material activities. Some devotee was saying time pass. And Prabhupada writes a very heavy line, on the purport. He says, apart from Krishna conscious activities, all other activities are abominable. So goal has to be very clear for devotees. Goal is, I want to attain Krishna. In which lifetime? This lifetime. So one is saying this lifetime, but doing also something towards that. That is also very, very important. And therefore many times devotees ask that when we are involved in so many material activities and then in devotee association we have so many other activities, when we are stuck in making a decision, how to make a decision. So I personally use this formula for myself. I just ask one question, which option will take me closer to Krishna? And just choose it and keep going ahead. Whichever situation we are in, be it material, spiritual, doesn't matter. This question should be asked because finally we want to attain Krishna, no? That's the goal of life. So we ask this question that which option will take me closer to Krishna? And whichever option takes me closer to Krishna, just choose that and keep going. So I always keep saying this in all the classes, wherever I go, that our goal of life is only to attain Krishna and nothing else. But still, we are always in illusion thinking there is something else also to attain in this world. And all glories to Maya Shakti, she is so amazing. She keeps us tightly engaged in everything else apart from going closer to Krishna. Sometimes, I really wonder how much illusion I am in. That every day so many people are dying around. Now what is the guarantee when I am sleeping at night and the next day I will open my eyes? No guarantee. But still, there is no anxiety as such when I am sleeping. Oh, maybe I can die, I should chant the holy names, and I should think about Krishna. And who in this world, including devotees, when they get up, maybe I can die today? Anyone like that? Yes. So everyone knows that time can come anytime. Birth date we know because manufacturing date was stamped as soon as we were born. And we celebrate. Happy birthday, Hare Krishna to you. Yes, very nicely you sing. But we don't know the expiry date. That is also stamped just besides the manufacturing date. But since we don't know that, somehow that seriousness doesn't come about attaining Krishna with one pointed focus, right? Therefore, we have to remind ourselves always, about this point, And when we are marching towards Krishna, the doubt comes, will Krishna protect me all the time? And Prabhupada writes in the purport, today's purport that we read, that Krishna will always protect his devotees. And I was hearing in one place, Krishna always protects his devotees, consciousness, and sometimes bodies also. Krishna always protects the devotees' consciousness and sometimes the bodies also. Right? So, this is for sure that Krishna is going to protect our consciousness and devotional service if you are really interested to practice bhakti intensely. And we see very clearly that if we follow our job description nicely, Krishna will do his. What is our job description as living entity? JD. You know, we always have JD, right? Job description. What is our job description? Huh? Service. You know, serving the Lord. Devotional service is our job description. We have to serve the Lord. What is Lord's job description? Lord's JD? Protect and protect the devotee and Yogam Shema Mahamyam. Maintain the devotee. Eko Bhavnami Udadati Kama. So Lord's job is to protect us and maintain us, and our job is to serve Him. Right? But when we start protecting and maintaining ourselves, and we are very concerned about that point, that rather than serving the Lord becomes tension free. One person should take tension, two people can. So one person should take tension. So Lord, you take. But then when the devotee is carefree, like Prahlad Maharaj, at that time Lord comes in tension. So Prahlad Maharaj knew his job description. My job is not to worry about my protection and maintenance. My job is to chant Hare Krishna. And whatever would happen, he is put in the pit of snakes or in the fire or in the water or whatever it is, he is just busy chanting the holy names of the Lord. I was just imagining, my speculation again when I was reading that section. So say Prahlad Maharaj is thrown from the mountain cliff. And Prahlad Maharaj is busy chanting. No worry, he's just flying from there and he's busy chanting. And Narasimha Dev is saying, Kaha girega? He is in touch where to catch him now, he will fall somewhere. Just imagine the scene. So whenever a devotee is carefree about his own protection and maintenance, and all the time is engaged in thinking about service to the Lord intention, how to protect this devotee. Parikshit did not do any bhakti. You see, when he was in the womb, what bhakti did he do? But still, since he was connected to other devotees, and they were calling out, this person was not doing anything, but still Lord came to protect him. Therefore, one is, we understand our job description of being the servant of Krishna, and another thing is being in touch with the devotees who are very dear to Krishna. Therefore, all these things that I spoke today, will be able to realize and achieve when we are in a devotee association. So we started the class with why we come for Sunday feast class. So we'll end the class also with why we come for Sunday feast class. Very nice shloka that is there. 11th canto, 3rd chapter, shloka 30. Please repeat. Parasparanu kathanam pavanam bhagavat yashah mithoratir mithastushtir nivrittir mitha atmanah. I call this a Sunday fish shloka. What happens? Parasparanu kathanam pavanam bhagavat yashah. So when devotees come together, what do they do? Parasparanu kathanam. They discuss about the Lord. Glorify the Lord and His devotees. Parasparanu kathanam. And how is this Bhagavat Yashah? They are discussing glories of the Lord. Yashah, Bhagavat, Bhagavan. So what happens when you do that? Pavanam. It's very, very purifying. So three things will happen when we come together like this and discuss Bhagavatam. Glories of the Lord. Three things will happen. First, Mithorate. We'll develop friendship amongst ourselves. Therefore, I always tell, sitting and hearing together is very, very important. Chanting together is very, very important. And having prasadam together is very, very important. Sometimes fighting is also okay. That is also good. But together, it should be together. Not Cold War somewhere in front. Yes, together. Second, obviously for some time. Mitho ratir. Mithas tushti. So when we come together and discuss about the Lord, we become satisfied. We become happy. I had this question once to a senior devotee that probably sometimes devotees are burnt out. When there are a lot of services, they get burnt out. Why does it happen if devotional service is so satisfying? That devotee asked me a cross question. Very senior devotee, or Karthikeya prj. So he asked me a cross question that day. He said, so when they get burnt out, what do they do? Do they come back or not? I said, yeah, they come back. So what does that mean? They are satisfied, so they are coming back. I was convinced, yes, that's true. That's true. So Mitho Ratir, we develop mutual friendship. Mithas Tushti, we get satisfied and happy. And the third one is very, very important. Nivrittir Mitha Atmanaha. When we come together, see all the devotees, what we are struggling with is material desires. All the anarthas and vasanas that we have. So when we come together, what happens is we help each other to overcome our material desires and our material shortcomings. This is the topmost thing that happens, when we all come together. So in this way, first thing we come to Sunday feast to express our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. And when you come together, we develop friendship amongst ourselves, we become satisfied, and we help each other to overcome our sense gratificatory desires. Therefore, I always request all the devotees, wherever we go, that please don't miss the association of devotees. Doesn't matter how busy we are, we come together at least for some time. We hear, we dance together, we chant, we have prasad, and then we go. Anyways, for full days there after that, to do whatever we want. Right? So just to summarize whatever we discussed today. So we spoke about the glories of hearing, how Lord Krishna, He cleanses our heart. What did we talk after that? Glories of hearing. After that, what did we speak? Anything that you remember? Whom should we glorify? Yes? Devotees or Lord? Whom should we glorify? Both, either, it doesn't matter. They are tightly connected. And we heard about that, how they are tightly connected. And then, after that we spoke about reciprocation of the Lord, levels of prayer. This you'll never forget. Levels of prayers. And what else? Devotees, they are not interested to hear anything apart from the glories of the Lord. Yes? So this is one of the points in which I tried emphasizing. And when we were marching towards Krishna, we need not worry about our protection and our maintenance. Lord's JD is to protect us and to maintain us. He is anyways doing it nicely. We should just allow Him to do. And we should do ours. And finally, we will be able to attain all these different things that we spoke when we come in association of devotees. So I pause here. If you have any questions, comments. Anyone? Any questions?
Said that we all come in association of devotees and then we glorify the Lord, like through the medium of classes, like obviously powerful classes. So then every time it is only like when classes they don't even discuss. Normally when we talk that time it is not coming. You understand?
Yeah, got it. See, one thing that we do is consciously sometimes we should speak about Krishna. Like for example, we are sitting in, now after this when you will sit for prasad, so just you ask your neighbor who is sitting besides you that which points did you like, and then we share what we liked. So sometimes consciously we should do. Subconsciously anyways, and as I said, we send gratifiers. We'll speak about ourselves, we'll speak about someone else, some chugli, some this, some that, some gossip. And naturally it will come, but consciously sometimes we should speak about this. And as we advance in devotional service, the only thing that we'll speak is about Krishna only. So we shouldn't worry. At this point of time, we might not be able to, but consciously sometimes we should do that. And with time, as we grow in bhakti, subconsciously it will happen like that. Yeah. Yes, bro.
On the same point, we generally face struggles in our life. out of it, saying that lot of things.
So here, what again and again Bhagavad Gita talks about is giving you 100% in whatever you're doing. So you have to give 100%, at least to our satisfaction. I did my part. My endeavor should be 100%. I'm satisfied with my endeavor. So what Bhagavad Gita talks about, and what when we say our JD, our job is to serve the Lord. So what hinders our service is expectation of the results. That is there. When we get it, we jump high. When we don't get, we get into depression or some situation like that. So that actually obstructs our devotional service. Therefore, we have to understand through Bhagavatam that how all these devotees did their various services. Yudhishthira Maharaj, for example, all these, since Pandava discussion is going on, we'll talk about Pandavas. See, Pandavas, they were ruling the entire kingdom. But as soon as Krishna disappeared, what did they do? As soon as Yudhishthira Maharaj heard Krishna has disappeared, immediately left everything. Just wore a lion cloth and he just started walking towards north. And when Yudhishthira started walking, everyone else also started doing it. So the thing is, they were doing this as a service to Krishna. This one question was asked to one of the sannyasis in ISKCON, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. I was sitting in that class. So one question was asked that Maharaj, how to balance spiritual life and material life? And he said only one line: devotees have only spiritual life. So where is the question of balancing? Right? So what does that mean? That whatever I am doing in my life, it is Krishna centered and it's for Krishna. So when we continue doing like that, so anyways things will become Krishna conscious, with time. Therefore, we don't have two different lives to live. This is something that devotees should realize. We don't have two different lives to live. It's only one life, and that is Krishna consciousness. So how to make other activities also Krishna conscious is what we have to meditate on. Then thinking about, this is different as compared to what I'm doing here. So somehow we should come to that understanding and realization. And when we do that, it will be good. But obviously with time, one has to retire. There is no question of till the last breath one is not doing his work and then is dying. There is no question of that. Prabhupada writes in one of the purport, 10 to 15 years before we leave the body, one should do full-time devotional service. Clear. As of now, we can make our various material activities spiritualized, but still it is not spiritual. Right? So Prabhupada says at least 10 to 15 years before someone dies, one should be full-time engaged in spiritual activities. Primary spiritual activities of Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. Right? So two things. One, as of now when we are there in this world doing various activities, we have to spiritualize those activities. Second, we should plan for early retirement and do full-time devotional service. So these are 2 points which we can meditate on. Or else going back home back to God, it is just a joke. Correct, no? Yes. Does that answer your question? Huh?
You just mentioned about glorification of the devotees before the Krishna, over the Lord. How to glorify a devotee in a pleasing way?
How to glorify a devotee pleasing way? So just glorify how much? It has to be glorified. At times, our glorifications are like devotees there in front, and then we use Bhagavatam shlokas to glorify the devotee. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena gadavrata. The devotee is feeling embarrassed. My God, no, what is this? He's just chastising me that I'm not pure. And because of your presence, the place has become contaminated. It is described that over glorification is chastisement. When you're talking about physical devotee association. Yes? Therefore, how much ever the devotee is there, so according to that status, we should appreciate and glorify. First part, when the devotees whom we are staying with. Second part is glorifying the devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, remembering them and speaking about them. That is glorification of devotees. Speaking about Prahlad Maharaj, speaking about Dhruv Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj, their bhakti towards the Lord. From Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kolavecha Sridhar, Mukunda, all their bhakti towards the Lord. So that glorification. So these are the two glorifications which are there. We glorify the devotees whom we are staying with, genuinely glorifying for the genuine activities or genuine service that they have rendered, or their mood which they have. And second is glorifying or speaking about devotees from Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is glorification.
Glorifying, but falsely also I see happening
That's what I said, no? That's over glorification. That's chastisement. That's not glorification. No. I remember once, one new boy he came, he just picked one paper, he put it in the dustbin. And another devotee came. Because of you, the entire hall has become clean. Now you might be thinking, what? Look, ISKCON all screw deal hai kya? Okay. So we should know that how much to glorify. That's very, very important. And falsely glorifying a devotee basically means we are trying to blaspheme the devotee. So we should be very careful in devotee association, that not to blaspheme, in the pretext of glorifying.
Another question from me, enlightened the importance of hearing, but still after hearing so many from the senior devotees, still we are not getting a taste to hear more.
Correct. I told, no, what is the reason we don't get taste? Loudly? We are envious of Krishna. So naturally, it's very difficult. Therefore, those people who are not envious of Krishna, we serve them. We serve Srila Prabhupada's mission with a mood to please Srila Prabhupada. See, we have to analyze all the devotees of 16 rounders who are Bhakti Vriksha leaders. I always tell this to the leaders, that we all are doing service. We are fully engaged. Sometimes we are so tightly engaged, there is no breathing time also. Sometimes the leaders who are under me, who are serving in my circle, they sometimes, Prabhuji, we are grastas, please understand. So we are tightly engaged, right? But then in that tight engagement, our mood we have to analyze. Because now we have come to 16 rounds, regulative principles, we are serving the mission, all that. Now the mood matters. The mood should be, I am doing this to please A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So if this is the mood, we will see that with time, we will develop taste for devotional service. All the activities of devotional service, not just hearing, all the activities of devotional service. So serving a person who is non-envious will help the envious person to develop taste in chanting, reading, hearing. So we have to serve the non-envious personalities. So Prabhupada, his disciples who are current acharyas, spiritual masters. So we have to serve them. The senior devotees, because in ISKCON I always say this, ISKCON is like a hospital. There are senior patients, junior patients. Yes. So senior patients, their disease of enviousness come down much. The little enviousness might be there. So when we serve them, our disease also will come down. So like that. Service. Shushushoshadha dhanasya. You have to serve the devotees. Like that. Hare Krishna. He is asking. So Prabhu's question is, day to day we do so many material activities. When we come here, how to set the mood? We leave all that at the door and we come inside. See, one thing please understand. We don't have much time. One day I was sitting and analyzing my own schedule. And I was like, I want to read more, I want to hear more. I was just thinking, there is no space only in that. Because we have 24 hours only. In that, at least 6 hours we have to sleep. There is no time. So many activities are there. So when we are sitting, in various brahmachari classes and various leadership classes, I tell this point. We will not have time for something extra. I'll do exclusive hearing, exclusive reading. Maybe you might get little. But then when we sit here like this, we should tell ourselves, this is an exclusive time that Krishna has given me. Let me just focus. Let me just get lost in this Katha and Kirtan. And we come back to the material consciousness only when we exit this place. Why? The thought process is because this is an exclusive time which I will not get outside when I go outside. So better every moment let me utilize, in getting immersed in Krishna consciousness. If I do that, I will get purified. And trust me, as devotees, chanting 16 rounds or serving the mission, to get a lot of time for Swadhyaya becomes very difficult. Therefore, Prabhupada set it up morning Bhagavatam class, evening Bhagavad Gita class. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. So Prabhupada said 2 hours one should read. So this is what Prabhupada wanted. 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening. We are fully engrossed. And then we analyze, and then we torture the speaker. Why you said like this? This is said like this. This verse says this, that verse says this. Something like that. Even after doing service, you are not satisfied. Oh, then we should do more service. No? And the service should become so much so that we become full-time devotees in ISKCON. Because finally, what every living entity is searching for is service to Krishna, and that's what is going to satisfy. If there is that something that is pending still in the heart, means more service has to be done. We just keep doing more and more and more. Till the last drop from our body comes out, and we are just serving. Like that. Yeah. One of the reasons why everything was going well, in my life, earning nicely, going for a job, and my job was also very wonderful. First thing that I would go after going to office is sleep for 1 hour. After that, get up, half an hour reading I will do. Then I'll start work. I'll work for 2-3 hours, then do 1 hour of hearing when I go for walk after prasad. Then work for another 2 hours, 3 hours, and come back to base, and then get into IVF services which were there. Then suddenly one day I was thinking, why am I wasting this much time also? Let me just give it up. Because I was thinking this point that there's so much service to do, and I'm not fully satisfied doing this also, that also. Better let me shift at one place. So that helped me. Now a little bit satisfaction is there. Yes. Mataji, sound.
Prabhuji, how to handle atheist person? Very recently I came across one person in my office. He or she is very atheist, and we share the lunch time and break time. So I should maintain the distance, or I should answer their questions. How to handle this?
It depends. It depends on your level of understanding and realization. We always say this, that a devotee's realization is here, and say the materialism is here. Then a devotee can take over the materialist. But if devotee's devotion is here and materialism is here, that person will take over us. So we have to analyze, how much materialism that person has and how much devotion I have. So my devotion, if it is greater than the materialism of that person, then I can preach nicely. If I am convinced that I have to attain Krishna and all that outside is nonsense, then I can speak with conviction. So conviction is very important. Faith in bhakti is very important. And then when we speak that information to that person with conviction, then that person also can get convinced. But one thing we have to always remember, that not everyone will get convinced about Krishna consciousness. Because to get convinced about Krishna consciousness, we should have enough sikruti, spiritual punya. Without enough spiritual punya, we cannot come to a plan. We cannot chant Hare Krishna. We cannot accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. One of our devotees has made one shorts of my class, Krishna Supreme Personality of Godhead. There I am speaking about this. Around 80,000 people have seen that, and there are 750 people fighting in the chat box that how Krishna is not supreme. So now you can just imagine that how people are envious, they don't want to accept Krishna as supreme. They're fighting, no, Lord Shiva is supreme. Krishna has taken birth from someone. How can someone who takes birth can become supreme? All that fight is going on in that. So it's natural. If the Sukruti is not up to the mark, the person cannot accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even in devotee circle we see some devotees who are not fully convinced, who don't have enough Sukruti, they are not able to accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead wholeheartedly. Yeah, they say Krishna is supreme. I also think so. So wholeheartedly accepting, you need Sukruti, you need spiritual punya, you need mercy of Guru and Acharyas in the Parampara. Then person can accept. Therefore, with atheistic people, analyze and how much to speak. If someone is innocent atheist, then we should speak and help. If someone is a very arrogant, envious atheist, then we should keep distance. There is no point in speaking to such people. We can just ignore, saying just something and just ignore that person and do your job, whatever is there, like that. Anyone else wants to ask anything? Yes. How to destroy the ego? My God. I cannot answer, I have so much of ego. Actually, I was hearing in one place that if a devotee is sincere, and sincerely if the devotee is endeavoring in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will do all the arrangements to destroy the ego. One incident I will tell you from my life. So it was a leaders' sangha which I had organized. So normally I'll be busy, giving classes, planning and all that. So that day I thought class was there and just 20 leaders were there. So I thought, let me serve prasad today. So I was standing and I was serving prasad. So one devotee was taking prasad, and then that devotee came to that place where I was serving that sweet. And that devotee like, Prabhuji, so nice. Nice to see you doing some seva. And that just punched me like anything, I tell you. It's so nice to see you, Prabhuji, doing some seva. And I was wondering, oh my God, I was thinking I'm fully engaged in the service of the Lord. So, if we are endeavoring to attain Krishna sincerely, Krishna will arrange many, many people. And if you want to get purified faster, one should become a leader in Krishna consciousness. One should take up some very important roles, in the temple. Important roles like guiding people, helping them, to get closer to Krishna. And you will see, those people who are below us, they will purify us. People above us will purify us. And people around us will also purify us. And such a pure devotee will go back home to God. Okay, thank you very much. It's 11:45. Now we will stop here. It was very nice. And I'm very happy to come to this place. You all are very, very fortunate to have His Grace Venimada Prabhu as your leader. Such a sadhu person he is. I hanker to get his association. Whenever he comes, I feel very nice. When he comes to our center, I spend a lot of time with him, so that I also get some sadhutva, some qualities. The level of tolerance that he has, humility that he has, and he's always, always he'll keep crying how to expand more and more and more. So wonderful, So you all are very fortunate, and I also heard that there is an endeavor to get a land. I intensely pray that that endeavor comes true, and the small hall becomes very big, a very big temple where all of us can come together in a number of thousands to please Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.